everybody, welcome back to another small biz artist video. This week I'm going to be talking about artists and the algorithm, basically social media algorithms. And part of the reason I want to talk about it is in the last video I wrote down that I want to dedicate 5 hours a week to marketing education. And I forgot to mention that. The reason for that is I wanted to see if it helps my day job skill set better, which I think just doing 1 week already has changed my perspective on how I approach my work for the day job. And the other reason is because I want to get better at it for my business. And dedicating 5 hours a week is more than enough to get better at it. Whether it's videos, books, whatever it is that I find on YouTube or other educational sources online. There's a lot of courses that are pretty cheap, which I'm looking at as well. So I'm trying to get better at that basically, and not just sit here and complain about the algorithm. And that's something a lot of artists do is I can't get traction on my social media posts because the algorithm doesn't like artists. And that's not necessarily the case. The algorithms that, from what I've been learning, they're geared towards specific people. If you just post art and you go, well, people who like art should see it, that's so vague. It's not gonna work. You're supposed to be reaching your target audience, not a broad user base on social media. So for my target audience, it's gonna be people who like Halloween, weird spooky stuff, monsters, creatures, and things like that. And the only challenge that algorithms would hold against me are certain tags, because a lot of horror tags are kind of frowned upon due to not sensitivity, but some horror content is more not safe for work, and it's very difficult for social media platforms to kind of deal with that without having their user base be mad, or having their user base see things they don't want to see in terms of not safe for work content, which is very valid. It's not like something unreasonable. I think it's, from a company standpoint, I understand it. It is frustrating for me, but for the overall context of it, I understand. However, there are other ways around that. So one of the things that I've been learning is, where is your audience? Because Instagram versus TikTok versus Facebook versus Twitter versus YouTube versus whatever other platforms there are, they don't have the same user base. They might have the same, someone might have an account on all of those, but it doesn't mean the user base is the same. The age groups are different, the interests are different, the expectations of what they're going to get out of that platform is different. So if I'm making a YouTube short and I say, yeah, that YouTube short will be perfect for Instagram, that doesn't necessarily, no, that's not. It's Google versus Facebook. If that makes sense. Meta or Facebook, whatever you want to call them, have a certain look about them with the type of reels they can do that doesn't necessarily translate to YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts, from what I've seen, are often, they don't have as much text and flair as some Instagram reels, where they're more flashy and trendy. So when you kind of think about that, it's like, okay, so just because I'm making something great on YouTube doesn't mean it's going to translate to Instagram. And that's kind of where the marketing aspect comes in, and why I'm learning how to better position my stuff for more eyes without wasting my time, I guess. And a lot of artists don't, I don't want to say they don't take the time, because it is very time consuming to learn this stuff. That's why it's a separate field. But they don't realize that they're different. They don't really consider them being as different platforms. They consider them, well, they can all do video, so I can just put video on there, the same thing across each platform. And there's a kind of a wall that they hit, because they don't really learn those platforms beyond what kind of content they accept. image, video, whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to be like that. I'm going to position myself in a way that's going to set myself up for failure or hold me back. So, for example, right now I've been just getting back into posting on Instagram when I can, just getting used to the platform again. And that requires me to make content. And right now, I just want to keep it more image based just because I know that my YouTube shorts aren't going to really translate to Instagram because my YouTube shorts are more educational based, like how to's and stuff like that. Instagram, I don't really see it that often there. I really don't. It's usually lifestyle, it's usually content that's more relatable. Like, oh, I had this happen. Have you had that happen to you? You know, and I need to kind of like figure out what kind of content I would want like that on Instagram because I'm not very good at sharing things like that. I like to keep my personal life and everything separate. I mean, I could probably do something like I'm doing here with managing a day job with a side business, but I don't know. But yeah, anyway, back to the marketing thing. Yeah, I don't believe blaming the algorithm for them, like, overall is really productive, and I don't think people really know what the algorithm is. I don't think they understand how it works, and I don't think they know what it's actually looking for. One of the biggest hurdles for anybody is remembering that social media is social. So posting and then never doing anything after you post is not you being social. That the algorithms do not, and most platforms actually, the algorithms just don't favor accounts that just post and then never interact with other accounts. And this is something I myself struggle with. It's not that I don't want to, it's just sometimes I just forget, you know, I'm like browsing stuff, I might like a couple posts here and there, but commenting will actually make your account look active. And that's really important for algorithms. They want active accounts in their feed. They don't want accounts that just post a bunch of stuff and then disappear. Now, obviously, after you grow to a certain amount, you won't have to worry about that as much because you've already gained a very large audience. So now your very large audience will be the accounts to interact with you. And what you can do in response to that is respond to those people commenting on your posts. You can, I think there's one YouTuber I was listening to, and she kind of sets a limit. In the first 24 hours, she'll respond, and then after that, she'll stop, which I think is a fantastic idea. So if I post something, I get comments on it, the first 24 hours, I'll respond. That way, my activity level for my account is there. I am adding more comments to whatever post on any social media it is to that post, and that kind of boosts it. And I'm also interacting with my followers, my fans, whatever, which is always a plus for a business. And that's like the biggest struggle with that a lot of people have, you know, because time is precious. But I think setting some boundaries for that, like, hey, I'm going to respond to this many comments and then that's it, or within the first 24 hours, I think that works. And then just from my first week or so of marketing basics and just things that can help your business, a lot of companies do that. They either, this is going to sound really bad, I don't recommend doing this, I'm definitely not doing this, but they have, they purposely make an account to comment on that post or video to trigger more. Now YouTube actually, specifically YouTube does this as well, where they suggest you comment on your video upload and you pin that comment, right? And I did that for a while on my main channel, but after a while I didn't have to do it anymore because I have a large enough following. I'm always getting at least one comment. I probably should get back into it. I just kind of forget. I schedule a video and then I forget. And on this channel specifically, I don't do it because this is more of an accountability channel. I'm not looking to go crazy in terms of like long-term revenue or anything like that. Like, I would like to get to a point where I'm earning a little bit on this channel, but that's like a far off goal, and that's not my primary goal. Right now, it's just creating content to I got distracted by my video, sorry. Creating content to show how an artist with a day job is progressing and the changes that I have to make that side business successful, stuff like that. So that's kind of like my primary goal, is just documenting it, sharing that documentation with others, and hopefully other artists can see, yeah, this is something I can do too. So yeah. But that might be something as I get back into the flow of things, or develop a better flow for posting. Maybe I will do another pinned comment on social media platforms like Instagram, things like that. I don't entirely know yet, but it is something I'm considering. And yeah, so that's kind of just a little, not rant, I guess, a little bit chit chat about marketing and stuff. I will share more marketing things I'm learning as time goes on. Right now, I'm kind of like limiting myself to just the basics, and already that's really changed my viewpoint on a lot of stuff. I have like a little notebook and been taking notes in, especially when it comes to your brand and how that appears in the marketing, because that has a huge effect. Like, if my brand's supposed to be fun, my marketing should reflect that, you know? So there's a lot of different layers involved with it, but at a surface level, this is like a lot of the stuff that I've been learning over the course of a week, that's really been sitting on my mind, I guess. And yeah, a lot of artists just don't think beyond the algorithm, and it's there to punish them, and that's not the case. It's kind of like, if I give you a bike and you don't use that bike correctly, is it the bike's fault or is it your fault? Now, it may not be the right bike for you, so you might have to get a different bike. But again, you can't blame the bike for everything if you're not using it properly. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but that's all I can come up with right now. So that's just kind of a little chit chat about that. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you enjoy this plan and chat type thing. If you like to know more about how my business is going with a full-time job, let me know in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.